It's all like when I come in the next day, you guys just clear it because you guys keep talking. You can also I can manually clear the chat, or sometimes when you refresh, it won't load all the messages. But typically, all the messages should be in there forever, basically, until they run out of memory. Yeah, you can even come here while I'm offline and put shit in chat. It's still, I turn on the auto mod when I'm gone just so I don't get banned. But yeah, you could technically come here even when I'm not streaming, and chat would still be going. The mods hang out after the show sometimes to clear stuff up or post links or whatever. Twitch chat is basically the only thing they got that's better than YouTube chat, to be honest with you. Twitch is better at, well, they were significantly better at live streams. And then YouTube obviously is better at recorded content. But YouTube has closed that some, especially now that YouTube memberships have special emotes and shit beside your name if you become a member. But Twitch chat is still better, especially like all the, there's like my mods probably only know like, I don't know, 1/10 of the commands that you can use in chat. There's so many commands built in and different things you can use that you just can't do on YouTube. Banning is better. Labeling people potentially suspicious is better. Mods can leave notes about people. Like if someone takes a weird shot at me, but we're not sure if like they're just making a joke or if they're like here to disrupt the show, or maybe they're somebody that now considers himself my enemy. Like you can take notes on them, and then the other mods can see. It's so much better. But they've been making a lot of making a lot of weird decisions lately. We'll talk about it in just a second. But thank you for joining us. We'll go ahead and kill this music. We'll get started. You can also do time limit bans, and you can put down the reason. That's a cool thing as well. Put down the reason somebody's banned. That way, if someone gets banned for, like, let's say the rest of the stream, and they got banned for a specific thing, if they come back tomorrow and do something different and say, I didn't know the rules, that's cool. But if they do the exact same thing again, then you know, obviously they're just here to cause an issue. The song's almost finished. Here we go. All right, that's it for the music. Let me run that down, reset that for the way out. So we got outro music. I'm gonna try to do a couple hours. I said this before, but you might not have been here yet. I'm gonna try to do a couple hours with you guys, everybody, and then I'm gonna try to do a couple hours Patreon only, all levels, just for a quick hangout, because I know tomorrow we got the charity stream, which is going to kind of be a hectic day, and I want to make up some Patreon content that I haven't been able to get to. I feel really bad about it. So let's roll that intro.
Hey everybody,
Spicy underscore Essico just resubscribed for 13 months.
Because of my last broadcast, I disclosed a God dream where we were all instructed by God to subscribe to Cold Beer Confessional channel on Rumble and BitChute and Twitch and YouTube. Listen, it's not my fault. I have to disclose what I'm told by God. So don't get mad at me. If you want to do something about that, the best thing you can do is go into the comments section on his YouTube channel. Just imagine these guys are you guys going into the Well Birds comments section and saying things like, your channel is trash. You know,
that's right, Nova.
Your sunglasses
Coming
look
for
ridiculous. You're not a real patriot. Or, you know, your wife can do better. Just anything like that. And for those of you saying that actually that will help his channel because it will bring more engagement and it'll help the algorithms, I've already run this past Uncle Teshy. Uncle Teshy knows about algorithms, okay? There is nothing Nikola Tesla is more expert at than YouTube algorithms. And if he says it won't affect it, then it won't affect it. So I strongly suggest that you guys get into the comments section and call this guy an asshole.
Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. By the way, someone asked me, or someone put in the comments today, and I don't blame them. I know it's not for everybody. Like, why are the videos sped up when you watch them? I feel like I explain this all the time, but I know not everybody sees everything I do. Hell, I didn't even remember half the shit I do. So in order to watch like a 2-hour video from Phil and a 3-hour video from Scott and then 3 hours worth of miscellaneous videos, this is the same way I explained it in the comments. I can't do an 8-hour live stream. Okay. So we speed up, we skip around, we do what we can. Typically it's not too fast. And even if it is too fast, the most important parts, I stop them and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. This is what he said. I don't listen to anything on 1x speed. And I would suggest that you don't either. Like, you can get so much more done like on 1.5, 2x speed, and you don't even realize it. As long as you can get used to, as long as the person doesn't talk too incredibly fast. There are some people that just talk really fast, think of like Ben Shapiro or Destiny. And as long as the person doesn't talk too incredibly fast, why would you not consume the same information in half the time? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good for me. I can't watch anything on normal speed anymore. I can't stand it. I listen to audiobooks. I've got Audible subscription. I try to listen to 2 books a month. I do it. I can't listen to it on normal speed. I don't listen to podcasts on normal speed. The only time you'll ever catch me listen to anything on normal is when it's actually live. And that's very, very rare because I don't like it. I gotten so used to the rest of it. So I still stop and try to point out the major issues. I know not everybody is as quick a listener, I guess, or listening quickly enough. I try to point out the major issues, but that's the only way I could do it. I couldn't cover those videos, 8 hours of videos, and do an 8-hour stream and talk about it, because then we're talking like a 12-hour stream. So I try to get through them a little bit quicker. But thank you guys for joining us. I'm Will Bard. This is Cold Beer Confessional. What we're going to try to do tonight is a stream together, all of us, all in one place, or all in a few places here. Twitch, if you can make it there. Twitch is by far my primary platform currently. That may soon change, but right now I need everybody on Twitch that can be there. That's where the sponsors come from. That's where the advertisers come from. That's where the charities work through. That's where the majority of my income's made. So if you can watch on Twitch, greatly appreciate it. But I'll hang out together for a regular stream for a couple hours, and then I'm going to try to do a couple hours Patreon only. It'll be all levels Patreon, so that's as low as $2 a month. All levels of Patreon, and we can hang out and talk about what's going on tomorrow with the charity stream and stuff. But before we get started, the only really announcement, I guess, about Dad is, so Dad is actually in really good spirits. I went over and saw him earlier today. I still didn't get there till almost lunch, but I stay up all night. I can't help it. But I went over there to see him. He seems to be in better spirits. He gave me the card for his infectious disease doctor, and I spoke with her. She seems like, even though the MRI showed that there may be like some infection, they didn't say in the bone. I think they're more concerned on the bone. She got down in there and did a little bit of digging around, and thinks that she sees clean tissue between the bone. Still sees clean tissue between the bone and where the slight infection is on his foot. The infection is already responding and getting smaller with the antibiotics. So she sees no reason that there shouldn't have to do surgery. Now, she can't guarantee that. She can't, like, tomorrow he could he could be 10 times worse by the time she come in. So this is all conditional on, like, if it keeps responding, that maybe there's like 150 people watching on Twitch. I'm sure it's loading. That's not it. It's got to be a single person issue. Anyways, so hopefully that continues, right? Hopefully it continues healing, and she sees no issue that the antibiotics won't work. So what they're doing is, he's got a wound care regimen. Wound care seeing him, changing his wound. He's got an infectious disease doctor. He's got a podiatrist that actually works. He already has a podiatrist, but I explained this in a different video. They're with 2 different medical groups. So we have Holston Valley Medical Group, which I personally prefer. But then where we live, Ballad bought everything. Ballad bought a bunch of different hospitals. They bought my hometown hospital. They bought Johnson City Medical Center. They bought a bunch of other hospitals. And some doctors, depending on what contract they've signed with Ballad or with Holston Valley Medical Group, can't work out of certain hospitals. It's really dumb. So his podiatrist can't work out of his hospital. But that's okay. He found one he likes. He found one with good news, and I spoke to her. So hopefully what will happen is antibiotics. They said he could even be released as early as maybe tomorrow. Like, I don't want to get his hopes up too big, because or too high because they have to do a pick line. And if anybody's ever done a pick line, stuff can go wrong there. Like last time, they spent hours putting in a pick line and it was curled at the end. You know, they couldn't get a good flush off of it, couldn't get a good flow through it. Finally went back in, did some imaging and found out that it was curled at the end. And, you know, so if he gets a successful pick line and if it goes in and if they can order his medication to start immediately, which will be those Medi-balls I'm always talking about. It's antibiotics. Instead of being an IV bag where you have to use gravity or a pump, they're pressurized with how much you're supposed to have. So if he can get the Medi-balls delivered, that's home health, then hopefully we'll be at home changing his pick line. And I know how to do that and keep it sanitary and all that stuff. We've done it before. Same thing when he lost his big toe. And no surgery, maybe some debriding and cutting back, but no bone issues, right? Which would be amazing. So he's in good spirits, hoping that's the case, hoping that stays the plan, hoping maybe he gets to leave tomorrow. If he gets to leave tomorrow early, it'll be with me because I'll be over there as early as I can get there. And if it's later on in the evening, I might be either prepping for the show tomorrow. We have a big charity stream tomorrow on Twitch, or I'll either be prepping for that or I'll be live. But either way, I should get notification that, hey, he's been released. Hey, he's coming home. I went and got his car home today, took care of some other errands he had. So hopefully everything goes smoothly tomorrow. So that's the announcement. I know it sounds really good, and let's hope it keeps sounding that good. But one of my biggest things is like, I hate to shatter somebody's hopes. So I've been kind of prepping them with like, well, even if we don't get the pick line in tomorrow, and even if, you know, something happens, maybe the next day or the next day, but we'll see. I hope it does work out for him. I know it sucks sitting around in a hospital. Especially he was with my mom for 40 years, you know, up until December. He's always had somebody right there by his side. Even when he's in the hospital, my mom would basically stay there all day and all night. And he's adjusting to a lot right now, plus a hospital stay, plus everything else going on around him, living alone, being in the hospital alone. They even think he may have had an anxiety attack the other day when he fell asleep and woke up, thought he was smothering, kind of panicked. So we'll see. I hope it works out for him. I'll keep you guys updated. Let me move these cameras around. We'll move on to something else. So there's the chat. Everything's going. I think I started all the channels, didn't I? Yeah. All right. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. We got a couple things to talk about. If you see the title, presidential race is heating up. So we got some stuff going on there. Some new people throwing their hats in the ring. We've also had some weird alien stuff going on lately. Lots of things. Of course, Phil is wrong. There's going to be a full presidential race. I don't know how he's going to spin this narrative to this as part of the plan, but I'm sure he's going to. Last that I heard of Phil, or heard Phil talk about it, he said he's planning on staying around for a couple more years. He wants to do basically like news, I guess, or he wants to still be a podcaster for years to come. So I don't know how that's going to work when he's been predicting that Trump is still the president, the Supreme Court decided, blah, 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 but there's actually going to be an election. Like, other people are throwing their hat in there. Oh, it's optics. What? Other people are just going to optically run against him? What do you like? I don't know how that'll end. We got some other issues. Scotty had a little bit of an issue. Like I said, a bunch of UFO stuff's come out recently. I am not naive enough. Like, I don't believe a lot of people's like firsthand accounts of like encounters with aliens, or I don't believe a lot of people who claim they saw UFOs. I don't believe a lot of those accounts. I don't believe a whole lot of stuff about Area 51 or the Proving Grounds, or that one guy that goes on Joe Rogan all the time. There's just too many things that don't add up there. But the government's coming out and saying, hey, there's a bunch of weird silver balls that are flying around that we don't know what the fuck they are. So I'm not naive enough to think that if the universe basically goes on forever, it's like infinity, right? If someone tells you, like, I want you to flip 5 coins and 5 quarters, and I want you all to land them on their edge, not heads, not tails, I want you to land them on your edge, you would say that's impossible. But if you had infinite attempts, eventually it would have to happen, right? Eventually it's going to happen. That's what infinity infers. Everything that could happen would happen.
Mo just resubscribed for 5 months.
Thank you very much, Miss Mo. Everything that can happen will happen. By the way, I can hear alerts now. Everything that can happen will happen. So if we're talking about a universe that could potentially go on forever, any other life that could happen would happen. That's how infinity works. That's how something going on forever works. So I'm not naive enough to think that there isn't. I just don't think we're super interesting. Like if we were at the point to where we were traveling around and inspecting other planets and hanging out there and making notes on the life that lives. I mean, I understand we send probes and we've been to the moon and we've been, but if we were like exploring like Uranus and the moons of Saturn and fucking checking shit out and taking samples, like we might be interesting enough. But if another civilization has the ability to travel light years away, we don't see them coming, we don't know about them. They have some type of technology to where we don't even notice them most of the time. Most people have never seen them except for like military and strategic people. Like, do you think we're interesting enough? Do you think we're interesting enough to even for somebody to come fucking find us? You know what I'm saying? Either way, we might talk a little bit about that. We might do that some more on Patreon. One more announcement I just forgot. The guy at Dono Clip contacted me. Originally, I had by the way, support the stream at coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund. I'm really nervous about some TOS changes that Twitch is currently making. It's making me kind of nervous about their platform. You could tell by the way I talked about Twitch and everybody leaving it and going to YouTube that I was already kind of nervous. Then they made some more changes that we'll talk about here in a minute. And that's where the majority of my income comes through. Ever since we made the animations, that's brought back a lot of my income, most of it. And those animations are set off by Twitch. And now I'm worried they're going to destroy their own platform. They're just making dumb-ass decisions. But I did speak to the guy at Dono Clip. Now, originally I had set Dono Clip at, I think I had set it at $5 because it was the same as one 6-pack at Buy Me a Coffee. And he said through their estimates and the people who use it that their target goal is somewhere around $3. You get the most Dono Clips and the most people use it. So because of that, I just dropped mine to $2. So if you want to do a Dono Clip, you're more than welcome. Send it. It's $2 now. You can send an audio or video message, record it in any format, audio or video. It's something like this.
Well, Bird, this is Ramesh. Is the Dono Clip working? We got to make sure the Dono Clip's working. It better be working, goddamn.
Well, yes, it is, Ramesh, and it's dropped down to $2. So if you want to use that, you're more than welcome. We also have Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon. If you sign up for Patreon, the lowest level, $2, you'll get an extra show tonight. We're going to hang out and talk about what's going on tomorrow and the charity stream and probably watch some videos or something. And then, of course, we got the old skull to donate. Also, this yellow button right here is to donate if you don't want to interrupt the show. If you wish to donate without a stream alert, nothing pops up, nothing jingles, nothing. Some people like that. Some people hate when I just get donations because they don't like the sound of me getting donations, I guess. I've had people quit viewing because I had too many alerts go off. But this is a yellow button for those types of people. It doesn't do it. And we got the merch shop. The merch shop is probably changing. I've got the idea. We had an idea. I'm going to try to get this free to some patrons, the merch tier patrons. I'm going to make some custom screen print shirts that are kind of like grungy, kind of like band. Like I'm going to make them by hand, so they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be perfect, but I'm going to make them and set those up. And those are going to be a limited run, and we'll probably do that every once in a while. But I'm thinking about doing with my merch shop what other creators do. When I have something new to release or have something new going on, the merch shop will be open and ready to go. And then when I don't, it'll probably be closed for like 30 days at a time. And then when it's open, you can buy anything you want, including stickers, everything else. But the rest of the time, it's going to be closed. So when we do a new release, we'll open it for like 2 weeks. And everything's going to be limited run, I think. I don't like the idea of like huge mass production and people just buying it because they feel like they have to. I want stuff that you actually want, and I want to make good stuff, right? So, yeah, we're gonna make custom grungy looking. I'm gonna make them all by hand, and they'll probably end up with either my signature or initials at the bottom, and go with that. So that's the new thing about the merch shop. If anybody was curious. Let me hop off. Let me hop over here, and then I want to go to. I got a news alert for you guys, and then I want you to decide what actually happened here, if you can. You might not be able to. But we have a contested story here, and I don't think he even knows what happened. So the traveling man Scott Wajos. Mariah's got tons of my fucking merch. I don't know why she always complains. She gets more merch than she's more merch than I do. But this is Scott Wajos. He's our traveling man. He's either going to Atlanta or Nashville or New York. He hasn't quite decided. He's just moving. And here's what happened today.
Why are y'all?
Sorry, I didn't have the audio up.
How's it going, everyone? Why are y'all driving to the new people?
New
Don't
drivers.
be on your phones or doing something else, thinking about something else. All you need to think about is the road.
All right, new drivers. Don't be on your phone. Don't be doing something else. All you need to think about is the road. Now, for those observant, you can see a little bit of damage to the side of his car. Now, this is not filmed in selfie mode. This is filmed with the rear camera, so that tells me it's not flipped. This tells me this is the driver's side rear door at minimum has some damage here.
Because of this happened.
Damn.
What would happen? There was emergency.
So he said I was paying. What would happen is there was a bunch of.
There was emergency vehicle, and you have to
emergency
assume
vehicle
that's going straight at all.
Now listen how he has to justify this. There was an emergency vehicle, and for some reason you always have to assume it's going straight. So that tells me it was at least an intersection away, right? Because you wouldn't have to assume it was going straight if it came up behind you. Now, what most people do is like they wait, and then when an emergency vehicle gets close enough, they pull over to the side of the road. And if you were in the left lane, you'd pull the left. You're in the right lane, you'd pull the right. You hit a turning lane. Maybe there is no place to pull off on the left, and everybody single files to the right and pulls over. But you don't have to assume it's always going straight. It's not traveling like at the speed of fucking sound, dude. Like you can watch it come up on you and then pull over.
All times, you know, because I seen him in my rearview mirror. You don't think he?
I seen him in my rearview mirror.
Stopped, just turned. I took a left. I turned left to get out of the way.
Okay, so he turned left to get out of the way of an emergency vehicle that he always assumes is going straight. Okay.
This dude right there in that truck said, "Oh, I did not see you." Oh, he was probably on the phone.
Another justification. He has no idea what the guy was, but says he was probably on his phone. Now, listen. Okay, hold on. Let me grab paint. Now, he was probably on his phone, and the guy said, "I didn't see you." So what we're going to hear in just a second is this. There's black. We'll grab a paintbrush. We'll grab some yellow. What we're going to hear is this. We've got multiple lanes of traffic here, okay? We got 2 lanes. Now, Scott's car is going to be here. Okay? And now a pickup truck is going to be here. Now he claims that he saw some emergency vehicles behind him, and he has to assume they're always going straight. They're always going straight. But what Scott did was he left his lane, went over into the left-hand lane, and struck this vehicle. But he's claiming that vehicle hit him. That vehicle hit him. Now, this guy never changed lanes. He never even saw that. He said he never even saw that. He didn't even know there's an ambulance coming. What are you talking about? An ambulance or a fire truck. Scott, it was so far away, he couldn't even tell if it was an ambulance or a fire truck. It's just an emergency vehicle.
No, talking. Nah. That ain't gonna fly.
That ain't gonna fly. He could have. Look at God damn. Look at all them Cokes. And for some reason, is that a jar of peanut butter? This man is sucking on 8 Cokes and a jar of peanut butter with a spoon in it driving down the road. You want to talk about distracted driving? Holy shit, dude. He has 8 Diet Cokes and a jar of peanut butter with a spoon out of it. You can't get more distracted, bro. The fuck you put in that peanut butter?
No, because you have to be aware of your surroundings when you drive.
You have to be aware of your surroundings and if anybody in your vicinity has a nut allergy.
Because it's the law. If you see or hear a emergency vehicle, pull over.
That's not the law. That's not. Could you imagine if you see or hear? So if I see one on the interstate and I'm on a surface road, I got to pull over. If I hear a siren across town, I've got to fucking drive over some kids getting off a school bus just to get off the road. Right? That's not the fucking law, bro.
I really don't think it matters if you go.
Here's what I'm thinking. I think this motherfucker whipped in here mad as hell and started slinging shit and tried cussing that guy. And that guy's like, fuck you, I was in my lane. Listen to this justification right here. It's his car.
Pull over. I really
Scott
don't
Rogers.
think it matters if you go left or right.
Wait. So it's the law. If you see or hear an emergency vehicle, you have to pull over. And I don't think it really matters if you go left or right. Absolutely it does. What if left is open road and right is the emergency lane full of a bunch of orphans on an orphanage field trip? Like, what are you talking about? I don't think it. You're supposed to pull over. I don't really think it matters if you go left or white. Left or white. I asked the Morphingwid.
Pull over. I really don't think it matters if you go left or right. I took a left. He was in the left lane.
It's the law everywhere that you have to yield to an emergency vehicle. No one's claiming that it isn't. But it's not that if you hear an emergency vehicle, you have to immediately pull over. I can hear an emergency vehicle 2 blocks away that's not even coming up my road. It's the law everywhere you yield to emergency. Somebody said it's the law in Colorado. Yeah, sure. It's the law everywhere you yield to emergency vehicles. That doesn't mean if you see or hear one, you have to pull over. I can see one from a logging road 6.5 miles away in the middle of town. Am I supposed to drive off the mountain just in case they decide to come here? Of course not. If you're in its way, if it's coming with you, moving with your flow of traffic, if you by any means are impeding it, you have to yield to emergency vehicles.
And I was pulling over because you don't even know.
So this is a 2-lane road, and basically Scott ran into a guy that was just driving in the fast lane, probably passing him. He just drove into him and then said, emergency vehicle behind us. And the guy's like, I didn't see an emergency vehicle. Oh, you're probably on your phone.
If they're going to turn or keep going straight, it's just a precaution. Just go.
So again, whatever the emergency vehicle was blocks away, and it ended up turning. It didn't even cut. Even if it even existed, he may have never. He may just be making this up as a lie because he doesn't want to be in trouble. But if it existed, he doesn't know if it was a fire truck or an ambulance.
Gillismum a subscription. Merbird gifted a tier 1 sub to Gillismum.
You better stop it, Merhan.
3 gift subs in the channel.
You better stop it. Thank you very much for the sub. Yeah, they don't even he doesn't even know if it's an ambulance or a fire truck. He has no idea because it never got close enough. He just claims he saw an emergency vehicle, an amorphic emergency vehicle that there's no way that he could identify it, and that he had to pull over immediately.
Go ahead and pull over just in case it keeps going straight, you know? Or this would happen. I mean,
so what was the guy in the left lane supposed to do? He was just supposed to anticipate. He was supposed to anticipate you coming into his lane, and he was supposed to go left too? He was supposed to go left too?
damage to his truck.
That's what he's mad about. That's what he's mad about. There probably is damage to his truck. It's probably not like this because the truck's lifted. I would say this is probably bumper and the tire probably hit tire. This is probably front bumper. Thank you for the 200 bits. I appreciate it. This is probably front bumper and then tire probably hit tire. That's what he's really mad about, is that there's damage to his car and not the other guys.
Damn. You have to pay attention. He said, oh, I didn't see you. Man.
He said, I didn't see you. Yeah. I wouldn't have seen the person die. Like, there's a difference between, like, noticing there's a car around you and seeing that the person is going to dive into your lane after they see an ambulance that no one else sees, right? Like, there's a difference between being alert and seeing that the person is trying to run you off the fucking road. Those are different things. When the guy says, I didn't see you, that doesn't mean he didn't know you existed. That doesn't have to mean that he was oblivious or he was on his phone or that's all he saw. Maybe when you said, I was trying to get out of the way of an emergency vehicle and I jumped in your lane. And he says, I didn't see you. He didn't know you were coming to his lane, dude.
Got the police coming to file a report, and it's his fault because he hit me.
Oh, there we go. It's his fault because he hit me. It's his fault because he hit me.
And whoever fault is who hit you.
Okay. It's whoever fault it is who hit you. The fuck does that mean? I think what he's trying to allude to, is that if you get rear-ended, it's almost always the person who hits that's in trouble, unless you can prove like they brake checked you and they locked up their brakes, right? It's almost impossible to prove that it's the car that was struck from the rear that's at fault, right? Because you're supposed to be able to, even if that person slams on their brakes, you're supposed to be able to slam on your brakes and stop, right? You should always travel at a distance to where if that car stops, you can stop. But if they're trying to brake check you or cut you off, there's people that do this for accidents. They'll cut you off, then slam on their brakes, and they'll have a lawyer on speed dial, and they'll get out and fall around and flop on the ground like they're having a seizure with a broken back and all kinds of shit. Like, those are things. But if in normal circumstances, it's almost always the person to the rear's fault.
The thing. And the morphing grid is telling me, yes, he was on his phone. That's what the morphing grid was telling me. So, this is the White Tiger Ranger, signing out for now.
I don't know if you caught that last little bit. Hold on.
Didn't see you. Man. Got the police coming to file a report, and it's his fault because he hit me. And whoever fault is who hit you.
Whoever fault it is who hit you.
The thing.
That's the thing.
And the morphing grid is telling me, yes, he was on his phone. That's what
the morphing grid is telling me, yes, he was on his phone. Please, for the love of God, somebody get Jose Monkey. You guys ever seen Jose Monkey on TikTok? He takes videos and figures out where they are by like context clues and OSINT, open source intelligence. Get them so we can get a police report. I want to see the morphing grid named as a witness on the police report. I want to see the morphing grid Zulwan or whatever his name is. What's the computer Z guy that is in charge of the Power Rangers? I can't even remember his name. I want to see him listed as a witness. I'll show you Jose Monkey in a second if you don't know who he is.
And the morphing grid is telling me, yes, he was on his phone. That's what the morphing grid was telling me. So, this is the White Tiger.
Zordon.
Signing out for now.
Zordon lied to you. Thanks, Scott. I'm watching your TikToks while I'm driving currently. This was your fault, Scott. You always go to the right. Of course, if you're in the right-hand lane, you got to go to the right. If you're in the left, it's probably a choice. Like, is there a spot to go on the left? Is the ambulance trying to go up the middle? Is the ambulance trying to use the fast lane, the left-hand lane? If so, maybe you need to go to the right lane and find a spot to get in. Maybe you need to just straddle the emergency lane to where the ambulance can split the middle. But yeah, of course you go to the right. Someone says, guaranteed Scott got cited for this. Ha ha. Someone else says, imagine a car smashes into you and Scotty hops out. Oh God. I said the same thing and then confirmed when he said, whoever hits you is at fault, which is not always the case. He said you can pull off to any side, so he went left. I don't think it really matters which side, left or right. You can just pull off when you see an ambulance that no one else sees. I mean, we all saw this coming, right? Especially with his videos of him operating a car while filming himself. Yes, no one should have doubted this. The fact he actually has a license is mind-blowing, right? It's fucking scary, dude. Dangerous out here on these streets. Yo, for real, it's going to end in tragedy. Imagine a car smashes into you, Scotty hops out. Exact thoughts with no shirt on, of course. I want to be there so bad to hear Scotty explain this to the police. LMAO. I'd pay to see the live stream. Yes, that would be amazing. He was live earlier, but he wasn't when the cops were there. But he was live complaining about his car. And that's when I found out that people were like, was it an ambulance? He's like, it could have been an ambulance or a fire truck or the police. I couldn't tell. I could just barely see the flashing lights. Oh, you always yield to the right, sir. Tell the cops what the morphing grid told you. Emergency. They spelled emergency. EMUCHACHACHAGENCY. Emergency vehicles are my least favorite. That's true. I'm impressed. I couldn't figure out how to top that. You pulled to the right for approaching emergency vehicles. He was begging while he was driving. Yeah, that's right. He was live streaming it. Bro just had a seizure trying to get to the point. Scott, you have to turn to the right if there's an emergency vehicle. You pull off to the right and stop every time. Never take a left. So let's go to DJ Galaxy. I don't think Scott's got too many more updates. Oh, by the way, it was impressive that someone wished karma on him last night. It says, I hope karma comes for you for sending out the photos of Christina to other people to use against her. And Scott's like, you don't even know if I have photos. And then karma gets him today with a car wreck.
To this person on this comment, what makes you think I have photos of her?
Well, you've told everybody you did. You told everybody she sent you nudes. You've even said that you paid for some of her nudes.
You're not using your head. You're not asking questions. Asking questions.
I let Ollie drive the Jeep around the campground the other day, and he fucking loved it. He wanted to go again. I did the controls, and I really did the steering, but I just told him when, like, I would say, turn. I would turn it, and I'd be like, hold it. Let it off a little, like coming out of a turn. He loved it.
Get you answers, you know? Like, you should have commented on the video saying, do you have any pictures of...
You should have commented on the video, do you have any pictures? Not, I hope karma gets you for sending out pictures. You don't know.
Christina, if you were thinking that, but wanted to say this, the answer is no. I don't. I really don't want to have any pictures of her, you know?
Yeah, so... Christina claims, so Rosie claims that she has pictures and Christina doesn't dispute it. Christina claims that Scott found nudes online and said, this is what Christina downloaded them and said, this is what Christina sent me. I was there for a lot of the potty training, a lot more than you could probably see from Australia, I guess. But says that Scott made this up. Scott says they're from Christina. Rosie says they're from Christina. Who knows?
Anyways, I'm just appalled by this comment, you know?
He's appalled by this comment.
I just don't like bad comments or mean comments, you know? This, my category, is a bad comment.
That's a bad comment.
How would you know that I have pictures of them anyway, if I did have any pictures of them?
You told everybody you had pictures, and Rosie told us all you sent them to her, and you just sat there. You didn't say, no, I didn't, or I don't have pictures of her. I didn't send you any pictures. You sat there while she said it, dude. I'm a good dad.
I don't have any pictures of it.
I've changed way more diapers than I want to. I've even changed Mariah's diapers.
The people who uses my content. I don't like that.
The people who uses my content, I don't like that.
In my next break, I'm gonna make a video talking.
Well, he never made it to his next break.
Trolls and the people who uses.
Okay, I wouldn't say all that. I'm not the best or excellent. I'm a decent dad. I have my own issues and get frustrated too easy, and I've made a bunch of mistakes. But I'm a decent dad. At least I'm not absent, right?
My content.
Let's not get carried away.
I don't like that.
You guys put me up on a pedestal, and then I feel like I can't ever fall.
I say no all the time.
He did. He sent dick pics to a bunch of people, including some that ended up in the hands of minors, some that ended up in his friends' married wife's inbox. They were all nobody asked him. They were all unsolicited.
This is my content. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop right now. So, anyways, into the trolls and bullies too. Y'all need to stop.
I like washing your ass. When there's a little bit of lubricant there, you can't clench tight enough.
I'm trolling.
Everything's an entry point. A little bit of soap.
You quit bullying on people too. Those bullies and trolls, you don't know what the people who you troll and bully, you don't know what kind of mindset they're in, you know?
The people you troll and bully, you don't know what the mindset they're in. But no one brought this to you. Okay? No one. No one just showed up and said, fuck this guy. Let's make up all kinds. You ran around the internet, sending unsolicited news, gathering news, making all these claims, doing all this stuff, dude. You did that. You've put yourself out there so you can raise $20 here and $20 there. You've went on a road trip with $0 and come on every day and beg for money while you're sleeping in your car claiming you're going to New York.
But anyway, my next video, I'll talk about something else what I think about. I have my helmet on, my Power Ranger helmet, the white Tiger Angel.
I hope he had his helmet on during that crash. That'd have been cool. That'd have been cool just to see. Could you imagine? I hope he had his helmet on then. That'd have been pretty neat. That'd have been awesome.
Helmet. I don't think I've bought my Blue Ranger helmet. Made a power protection.
Made a power protection. Now this one comment caught my attention. Obviously, I put a heart beside it. This guy is called Mr. KS Dude, and I think this is what brings a lot of attention to Scott. Especially when we found out like he was basically given a free job where they were making a position. From the understanding I got of the people that explained this job, they were making a position for him because they could afford to. They didn't need him. It wasn't a regular position. No one else could have gotten this position. It was just a position made for Scott as kind of like a stalker's helper a couple days a week so he could make some money because he's always complaining about not having money, not having gas. He's got a car payment now that he's probably not making. It was like a special position they made for him. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I've had people do that for me. If you don't know, I'm disabled through the VA, and there's a stipulation where people can make me like a position just for me, just to help me out. If it's a family business or a family friend that owns a business, like people could help make a position just for me, and they get certain tax credits, and I can earn more money or I can earn money and still qualify unemployable. But it's not that that's the issue. The issue is he didn't even go to the interview. He refused to even come talk to him because he said he was going to be a famous TikToker, so he didn't even go. While he's complaining about being evicted, not having money, scared his dad is going to die or kick. He had a dream he's going to kick him out, and he can't afford to buy sodas, even though he's always got a 15-pack of Diet Coke, and he's low on peanut butter. That's the problem. So this comment is what caught me, and it says, Mr. KS dude, this guy lives a better life than me. He has AirPods, an endless amount of cigarettes, drives a decent car, and endless money from all the people who watch his live streams, which is true. And I think that's why a lot of people catch him. I think that's why a lot of people ask him, like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is he going to New York? He told Rosie it was to help a friend. We're getting ready to watch all that, but I got to go over to DJ Galaxy. He told Rosie, I got to go help one of my friends. DJ Galaxy is the man, and let's see if we can watch some of these. Here's the rec.
Going, everyone. While y'all driving, to the new people, don't be on your phones or doing something.
I don't know how this guy always records with an echo.
Is the road, because this happened. What would happen? There was an emergency vehicle, and you have to assume that's going.
You have to assume it's going straight.
Right. I took a left. He was in the left lane. And I
don't know if it's just a repeat of his video or not.
Because he hit me.
He hit me. Yeah, I think that's just a re-upload.
Let's see who can give me the biggest gift, guys.
See who can give me the biggest gift. Gifts are, of course, donations. They relate to money. Like, if you send a rose, it's like worth $0.50 or some shit. So you can give me the biggest gift, guys. I need the biggest one.
To have the biggest gift, I'll do something.
I don't know why they just add a ton of fart noises. That's not as funny to me, but whatever.
To the highest gifter.
He's going to give something to the person who gives this is going to win something funny. Whoever gives me the highest gift is going to win something funny. Now, he's 100% making that up, and he'll 100% make up the gift, too. The first comment says, Winnow gets a watch collection.
Now I choose what? Now one of your kitty, too.
I choose what? I choose what you get for the biggest gift, and it's going to be funny.
But anyway, guys, I got to get off the hill. Satan, hold on. I'm going to go and get it.
What's up, big girl?
To 50% charged, and I'll be back on.
To beg for more money to finish his trip.
Let's just...
Imagine leaving your house without a dime in your fucking pocket, thinking you're going to drive across the United States just by getting on TikTok and telling people to give you money so you can keep going.
Drop. Hey, Rosie, let's just... Rosie, let's just drop Christina, because I want to put Christina behind us, Christina.
We're talking about Wozy now,
behind us.
not Christina.
Rosie, let's just put it behind us, okay? That's all I wanted to do. No, I did not hit her.
I did not hit her for some reason. What's 241?
What do you got to say? Right. Who's going to jail?
Oh, no.
Nobody. Nobody's going to jail.
Exactly. Hopefully Rosie's paying for his hotel room tonight, because I don't know who else is gonna.
I think this is some of the fighting we saw.
Yeah, girl, what's up?
That's the cussing. We didn't get to see all these, though, because it was...
Nothing but a crappy man. A man does not talk to women like that, and if he does, he's a
house. I called the local authorities, the police, by her home. And
so Wozy claims there was a drive-by that went by her house because they doxed her.
The neighboring police stations, and there was also none there.
Yeah, I've seen you around Twitch.
Yeah. there would have been something in the news all over, they said, if that happened. So that's a lie.
Yep.
But again,
Thanks for watching on Twitch. That's where all the advertisers and everything look at my numbers at. We're trying to keep them high, hopefully.
looking for money and who needs money to buy a bed, which again, I feel like that is actually using you. And
by the way, Wozy now claims that she has her own money. She doesn't need anybody's money, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I just don't think that's true. And the reason why is because we just found from like 3 months ago, her daughter was doing a GoFundMe because she bought a used car. And like the things that were wrong with her used car were like, oh, you have to put oil in it like once every 3 months, like a half a quart. Yeah, that's a used. Welcome to used cars. I don't know. Like I drive used cars. Every time I fill up the gas tank, I check the oil because you never fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a PMCS that motherfucker.
trying to make money off of you. I don't need you for anything. I don't ask you for money. I don't need you to battle me for money.
We try to be your friends.
I sent
we found Rosie's face already.
Groceries, got you sheets,
but
paid for
I don't know if
Uber,
she's shown it.
Sent you money on Cash App, but you're trying to tell a whole little story and tell her and go along with whatever she
This
says.
is where he
like,
comes in
Christina
at, I
did
think.
this, Christina did that. Like, you know dang well that's a lie.
And
There's a bunch of people here that says, I had to see one of these lives, but how do I follow? This gets me through life. Scott getting an intervention. I like it. That's why I won't give him any more money or unblock him. So Jenny says she doesn't give him money anymore. And Billy Bear says, I stopped when he started yelling at everyone and calling everyone homophobic slurs. Yeah, I mean, like, he had more supporters. He's running them off.
Stop and evaluate yourself, Scott. That
That's
you know,
right.
we've been your friends
Banking tree.
for however long. And what are you bringing to the table? What positive thing are you giving?
By the way, I heard from you guys remember Groiper, who made all the cool dolls and made all the cool thumbnails and stuff. I talked to him today. I think he's going to be coming out with his own show. He actually had a suggestion for a show for me, maybe a Rumble only show once or twice a week. Leading up to the election, but he's going to be coming back with his own show, so I'm excited about that.
Us because respectfully, nothing. You're not even a good friend because you're
Hey,
mean.
Kilo, say a little louder for people in the back.
Where does Scott come in?
Give out our phone number.
I think we already saw this one, but I know we didn't get to see them all because TikTok was messing up.
Oh, y'all bitches.
Here it is.
She thinks she's gonna come at us.
Kind of funny.
And she has no legs and skin tag.
Yeah, and she thinks she's gonna come at us in a wheelchair. Shit, I'd roll.
Nah, bitch. Nah. Y'all bitches. All of y'all bitches.
Now, these people spent the better part of a year promoting him. Like, I do think they use him for content. I don't know that they make a lot of money off that content, but they get a lot of views off of it. But they've also donated to him. They've also sent him money. They've also, one of the guys says, I hope somebody else is going to pay for his hotel room because he was asking us earlier to pay for it, to pay for his hotel room on this trip that he just took off on with no money. And then come in here and talk to people like that.
Because just the other day you weren't saying that.
Nah, all y'all bitches.
Even earlier.
You too.
We can't even understand you. You're
When Groiper starts his new show, I'll definitely be dropping a link everywhere.
mumbling over the mic. It
Can we
sounds like
take
you're
this
underwater.
moment and pray for him and pray the devil out because he's
That's sitting here talking shit about a wheelchair. They haven't messed with old legless Will Bird. I'll come up there. You think you was in an ass kicking contest, then you'll wonder where the legs were.
Nah, fuck you. Go to hell, bitch.
nothing.
This is where he finds Harry Guono. By the way, he's going to a Power Rangers convention in Atlanta. Okay, he was in Atlanta yesterday. The convention starts in 10 days. The convention starts in 10 days. It starts on June the 16th. I don't know why he's there 10 days early or what he plans on doing, but he's in Atlanta.
Days in
Alabama.
53 a night.
He's from Greenbow, Alabama.
Yeah.
That's right, Chris Sam. That's a throwback.
It's 48 a night.
Trying to find him hotels.
just what I told you about in the first place. First time, you know.
Mike said answer Yoder's call. He will send you $35.
Answer Yoder's call. He'll send you $35. He's sitting here saying, wonder how much hotel rooms are. I guess I'll just sleep in my car for the next 20 days. Like,
yeah, Yoda.
All of them, Cubs fan.
Yeah, I do.
I only need an answer if he's calling.
Yeah, he's been enabled his whole life. I guarantee you, Gen X, bitch. And no one, like, everybody wants to pacify him. Nobody wants to stand up and say, hey, man, like, you had an opportunity for a job. Why didn't you, even if you just wanted to work that job for a month, right? Making $10 an hour. I think he said like $15 an hour, but let's say $10 an hour, 2 days a week for a month. You would have had money to go to this convention. And if people would have donated, awesome. But at least you would have had the base to pay for it.
It's probably Christina. I don't know.
I thought you said you knew him.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, I do.
Okay, then call him.
I don't have his number.
Okay, tell him to call Scotty again. I wouldn't answer that, Scotty.
What?
That Yoda person.
Somebody said, but it was the other dude's fault. I can't imagine Scott driving a riding lawnmower, let alone a car. Talk about a rolling death machine. His dad probably just thinks it's peace and quiet. I know his dad, one day, him and his dad was in an argument, and he said something like, I'm trying to get money for us. And he's like, off that app? You mean the money you should go and buy toys for? This is not doing anything for me, basically, is what the dad was trying to say. I pay for everything here, and you run around and buy toys. I don't give a damn about your fucking toy fund.
Okay, Scotty. In a minute, we're getting off.
Alright, send some 99s. That's what it is.
Okay.
I don't know. Alright, Jacob.
Nah, I must give ads some. It's kind of boring.
Great. You over there?
As long as it took me to teach Mariah how to drive a zero-turn mower, I don't think Scotty could get it at all. That's how I compare it. Like, how close is he in relation to Mariah in the learning department? Move while Scotty's gone.
665. Wolfpack, you're gonna get blocked because I don't know you.
Who's screaming? Armpits, ass, and bad decisions.
Over there.
That's Scott's signature scent.
You have a good night. Wait, check your points, see how much you got. How much?
I got 557.
Hold on.
What's my... Oh, what about TikTok?
Can you unblock COWLEG?
Cowlet?
CROWLEG. But don't unblock nobody else unless you don't know them. I know them. I don't know them.
See, I don't see the
CROWLE.
Now he's getting a call. Let's see what was before this one.
Her stupid goddamn ass.
Okay. This is where that's Wosie's daughter. That's Wosie's daughter there.
All right, Scotty, let's FaceTime and we'll get back on.
You're gonna stay on.
All right.
Why?
God damn! Fuck!
It's Christina's ass for harassment. Plus, the bitch has called my fucking cell phone about 100 times.
Block the number.
Scotty.
Well, let's just FaceTime, okay?
Okay, and then we'll get back live to
557 coins is what he said he had. That's about, it says amount made is 1013. TikTok keeps 66%, so you made $3.44.
We got to get you a hotel room, Scotty.
I understand that.
Okay, Becky, we know you wasn't being mean. My mom has mentors that blocks people. My mom don't even know how to do it.
Mentors? It ain't mentors. It's moderate.
Oh, moderate.
All right. All right, now, end the live.
Okay, honey boo-boo, but we got to go back live because we got to get you a room.
All she,
No, we will.
all she cares about is like when she's live with Scotty, she gets viewers. That's what she cares about.
God damn it, we will.
Okay, honey, bye.
I've already seen through this chubby cheeks here.
Her stupid goddamn ass.
And then go eat.
Nah.
Okay. Well, go eat, Scotty, and we'll get back on tonight, okay?
I want to see the one where where she talks about the nudes and stuff. That's what I'm trying to find for you guys.
So,
a walrus.
She'll be on too.
Alright.
Have a good day.
You too.
Have a good day, everybody.
That's a very unique way to spell Cheyenne. It's SHIEANN.
Go backward, her stupid guy.
And then go eat.
Okay, there's Scott. People are saying Battle Kilo. Battle Kilo. Kilo is friends with Christina. It's like a honey boo boo addiction, you think? Well, so people love to watch chaos, and people love to watch struggle and just, I mean, like, hell, I've made an audience off showing weird shit on the internet, right? There's weird people that'll put weird, like, stuff that I'd be so embarrassed to put some of this shit out on the internet. Like, you know, you guys know me, I'm an open book, and I put everything out on the internet about my family and stuff going on, blah, blah, blah. There's some things where I'm like, I'm not putting that on the internet because there's no positive way to spin this or laugh about this or make a joke. It's just sad. But there's some people that enjoy watching that content. And then, of course, if there's going to be those people, there's going to be people that feel sorry for you and will send you money.
What's going on, Mother Queen?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm alright.
It depends on what generation you're part of. Like, my mom wouldn't put anything on the internet. She was embarrassed of. Like, I used to embarrass her all the time, just making small jokes or posting a picture or whatever. She was so, I wouldn't catch that. The first time I took her to Hooters, we were in a different state, in a different fucking time zone, at the beach at a Hooters, and she's like, what if my friends that I work with find out about this? Like, she was like that, right? But young people, they don't give a fuck. They put everything out there. I think it might be this one.
What's going on?
Maybe not. I thought the one that he's walking around.
Stuff for some coins. I'm not scared.
Someone said, "Car thieves of Atlanta. I know it's far from a Hellcat, but please do the world a favor and steal this man's car."
And or her, they can come onto my house.
Come on to my house.
Taco.
Thank you for my lady taco.
I'm getting tired of them.
She's tired, I can tell. No one made you put yourself in the spotlight like this. No one. Like I get mad when okay, I get dogs, I get yelled at, people attack me, people make up lies about me. But there's only I can only get so upset about that because I put my whole life online. I put my wife and my family and where I live and the office and what I do and called up. There's only so I can only get so upset about that. I've invited most of it. It's drastically different if you're just you don't use your real name, you rarely comment, you're not going after people, and you're just watching something on the internet. Then you could complain all you want. By the way, that's what like those you guys, we've been covering that Dinesh guy that like calls people out or whatever. Apparently, he's tied up in a big lawsuit right now.
Y'all are screen recording.
That's not it either. Where's the one where he's just walking around?
Damn. And then Christina's got something to say. I've been nice to her and I want to be her friend, but she don't want to because she's so immature. She's a kid.
Here's the doty. Cheyenne, go get mama some Pall Malls.
Both of them's dating him. No, both of them ain't dating. Play Scotty saying both of them's saying both of them's dating him. No, both of them ain't dating him. They want to go around Switch. They're playing him.
But what are you doing? You're not dating him. You're bedridden. In a different state.
I'll call her out any day.
And he says shit like, "I love you, baby. See you later."
Hey.
Mike Wazowski. I'm watching you, Mike. Always watching.
Christina is nothing but a immature little brat that needs to grow up.
Uh-oh. This is the one. Okay, here it is. This is the one about the nudes, I think. This is what Rosie says here. Now, Scott has told her all these things. He doesn't disagree either.
Scotty's told me a lot. He showed me a lot.
He's trying to get into the Power Ranger convention 10 days early.
Actually, it's this display.
Scott's gonna act like he doesn't know this is going on, but remember, he's got AirPods in.
I am. I'm gonna show her true colors out on here. She says she donates all of her coins to other gifters. She don't. No, you're probably Christina, you little prostitute. You're getting blocked.
Uh-oh. You little prostitute, huh?
That guy was nice, huh, Rosie?
Scotty, did you get your ticket?
Yeah, I got my ticket. I just gotta put my pepper spray, you know what, in my car on my blade.
Okay.
Them two is...
my pepper spray, my you-know-what, and my blade.
No, I can't bring them in.
Please don't tell me this dude's carrying a firearm. He's a convicted felon.
The blade is because of the size.
Hopefully he's just talking about pepper spray and a knife. What's up, Nurse Julie?
At least least I have to rely on.
Nurse Julie, I don't know if you're completely over the heartbreak that Travis put on you, but I might have found you a new guy here. You interested in any Scots?
Max.
Mariah's a big fan of Scots.
Yeah.
Christina show you.
Here, listen.
Scotty, didn't Christina show you her boobs?
Yes, she did.
Now, could it be any more direct than that? Could it be any more direct than that? Scott's saying he has her nudes or he's seen her nude. You can't get more direct than that.
Scotty, didn't Christina show you her boobs?
Yes, she did.
I got more on her.
Huh?
Let's say this again, Scotty. Didn't Christina show you her boobs?
Yes, she did.
Does she not use you to pay her bills?
Yes.
I hope y'all were screen
I
recording.
think I got the laugh. The problem with trying to get TikTok live content myself is you have to record it all because you never know when something's going to happen. There is no rewind. There's no go back. There's no replay. There's nothing. You have to record everything when they're live.
Christina is a little child that wants to play with Scotty to get her bills paid. It's called on the streets a prostitute.
Ooh, that's what they call it on these streets. Scott just sits there and listens.
Nobody has to give me either. I'm not on here. I'm on here to get his ticket. He's on here to battle for his ticket. I'm not like Christina. I don't show my boobs and stuff to get
boobs. I hate how long the vowels are. It reminds me of how long her titties probably are. When you're like, oh my God, boobs. Scott's a sugar daddy. That's right.
And then wants to make fun of Scott every minute after she does it. Look at my pictures on TikTok and you'll find out the reason why I don't show my face. I don't want to be screen recorded all over TikTok. Christina's a little kid. You go have fun. And get in her bed, get naked, and shows.
Here we go. Listen to this one. This is a good one.
And then she sends Scotty nudes. I saw her nudes.
Who's that?
She sends Scotty nudes. I saw her nudes. She says.
Said, get in her bed. Get naked and shows Scotty your body for coins, and then she wants to battle him. I got all the details.
I'm feeling okay. I don't have
and her little friend, Kiddo's husband. I've got all the details on her too. The detectives is looking them up.
Also have Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Christina ain't nothing but a little kid that shows her little bitty titties off to Scotty to get coins.
Ready? Yeah.
Y'all screen record this. I don't care. I wish y'all would.
Right here.
Well, ain't that sweet?
Quarter.
Poor little baby. Now I blocked you.
Because of the way this looks, this cannot come in the building.
Could y'all hold it?
We're not allowed to hold any firearms.
Good for you, Ron.
Go put in my car and come back?
Put these two, because of the length of this, just put these two some place, and when you come back, we'll let you come right back in.
Okay.
You come right back with screening, and we'll let you make sure you get back in, no problem.
Alright. This ticket is still good, right?
Oh, still, at least I'm not a whore like her.
I just got those two. This right here is just to like confuse them. Like they think I'm going for, but I'm going for that. Yeah, and you don't know what people go are thinking here, right?
You're blocked.
I'm here for the Power Ranger convention.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm a big Power Ranger fanatic.
Which one are your favorites?
That's a prostitute when you get on live and when you show your tits. And
That's a what a toot.
Christina's a prostitute.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Have you seen the cartoon show Yu-Gi-Oh?
Georgia.
It's on YouTube.
I saw all the messages.
She's seen all the messages.
If y'all want to go after somebody, go after Christina and her little friend that thinks she's a cop and her husband's a cop.
There you go. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I don't tell nobody to send me gifts.
How you doing?
Oh, yes, I've got a lot of proof on Christina, so go suck a, you know what.
I'm doing all right. How about you? I don't know how
He was arrested. It looks like he's been arrested twice. Once for panhandling.
much they'll be. I ain't got enough. Alright. How you doing? I got a knife right here and
all y'all doing is paying Christina's bills, y'all dumb masses.
Only my wallet and.
There we go. Now we know. That's the other one I wanted to show you. Shit's crazy. All right, I got some more stuff. Let me go to my phone. Let's see. Which ones do I have here? Let's try this one. This is just funny.
If anybody's got a cordless drill out there, let me know.
All right, so this is a truck driver sitting in line, and all these trucks are backed up to load somewhere.
If anybody's got a cordless drill out there, let me know. I need that battery from it bad. Shut up. Driver, my vibrator ran out of battery. Shut the fuck up. Tired of the bullshit. You don't have anything.
He said his vibrator ran out of battery.
To say shut up. But that's very important to me, driver. Well, that's your damn problem, not anybody else's. It needs a battery so you can keep that damn Cascadia running. Shut up, Reed. Well, I need to jumpstart my vibrator now. Shut your goddamn ass up, you son of a bitch. Nobody gives a fuck.
There's a guy that I watch pretty often that trolls people that are really serious about video games. He's pretty funny, too.
Okay, driver, relax. There it is. Won't you pack your shit up and take you back down to the damn desert and get out of our damn country? Well,
oh, hell.
What would you do if your vibrator...
Get out of our damn country. Now, listen, he asked him, what would you do if your vibrator was dead?
Down to the damn desert and get out of our damn country. Well, tell me, what would you do if your vibrator went out of battery? I don't have a vibrator. I've got a wife at home that takes care of me. Well, I don't, and I need to get that vibrator going like now.
I got a wife at home that takes care of me. Well, I don't, and I need to get my vibrator going now. Oh, that was a pretty good one. And then this guy. So let's check this out. This was kind of what I teased when we were opening the show about the UFOs. Check this thing out. No, I haven't put together a show on Ray Republic yet.
A U.S. intelligence agency insider claims that the United States has been secretly recovering alien spacecraft for decades. And according to him, the Defense Department has been actively hiding the truth, not just from the American people, but from the U.S. Congress as well. Let's talk about David Charles Grush and what we know about his claims so far. Now, David Grush is a veteran of the U.S. Air Force who then transitioned to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, or NGA. After working there for some time, he moved on to the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. And during his time with the NRO, he was a GS-15 pay grade, which is sort of the civilian equivalent of a field grade officer, a lot like a colonel. Now, according to Grush, while he was there, he was the senior technical advisor for unidentified aerial phenomenon and transmedium issues. And now that is a mouthful, but basically it means that he was one of the experts assigned to investigate UFOs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP as they're now known. Now, as a part of that role, Grush was the representative for this agency to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, which is the overarching DoD body tasked with investigating these sightings. After working in that capacity for the NRO for a while, Grush then transitioned back to the NGA, but stayed investigating UAP, then serving as that agency's representative to the same UAP task force. Now, according to Grush, he was approached by insiders from the crash retrieval program that was so secretive it was even being withheld from the UAP task force itself. They had concerns about the illegality of what they were doing, and they went to Grush to talk about it. Now, according to Grush, he never physically saw these objects or was a part of any of these retrieval teams, but based on what he was told, these objects are, quote, of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial.
Of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin, based on vehicle morphologies and material science testing, and the possession of unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures.
Terrestrial or unknown origin, based on the vehicle morphologies and material science testing, and the possession of unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures. Now, all of this so far isn't all that unusual. There have been lots of claims about government conspiracies and cover-ups of recovered crashed UFOs dating all the way back to Roswell in 1947. But what makes these claims interesting is the paper trail. You see, not only can we confirm that Grush has been a part of these agencies, but he has a number of high-level intelligence officials who vouch for him. Now, all of this is pretty earth-shattering news, but there's just one problem. So far, there's no evidence. But after Grush briefed some members of Congress on this crash retrieval program, he alleges that he was the victim of a concerted retaliation effort mounted by DoD insiders to silence him, to the point where in May of 2022, he filed a complaint with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because Grush wasn't alone in filing this complaint. He was represented by an attorney named Charles McCullough III, who's not.
So they filed suit.
Only a prominent DC-based attorney, but he's the former Inspector General of the intelligence community himself. Now, in July of 2022, the Intelligence Community Inspector General allegedly deemed his complaint to be both valid and urgent, and an investigation is still underway. Now, this is a ton of information, a lot of names and acronyms, and some very high-ranking credentials, but it still isn't evidence. Now, I'll be diving deeper and deeper into this story over the next few days, but I wanted to give you guys a quick summary of where we are right now.
So we have some people coming out with some titles, right? And their titles and rank and even applying lawsuits. Then we had this NASA panel. This was all declassified. stuff, and we had this NASA panel. We'll probably grab a couple videos here.
There was a public meeting today, all live streamed, 60-member panel.
This is on the 31st.
Fields like astrobiology, physics. The purpose of the team is to really study what's going on in the skies. What are these UFOs? So the team's findings and report is scheduled to go out this July. So I'm reading the article here, and it says that they collected around 800 mysterious reports, but only a small fraction are truly unexplained, said the team. The team also talked about how commercial pilots don't report these UAP sightings because of the stigma. So there wasn't any groundbreaking news. The team is just looking for more data to really study and investigate this phenomenon. Growing up, I wouldn't have thought this was possible.
A NASA panel formed last year to study reports of unidentified anomalous phenomenon, or UAPs, which we used to call UFOs, held its first public hearing today. The 16-member body with experts in physics and astrobiology highlighting...
That's our tic-tac shape. These are the ones the DoD released.
The need for more high-quality data, especially as stigma hinders their research efforts. The panel set to release their final report this summer.
For more on this, we are joined by investigative journalist and also the co-host of the Weaponized podcast, Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy,
oh,
we
God.
always appreciate you when you are with
the
us.
Weaponized podcast. What is that?
The biggest takeaway, according to you, from today's first public meeting?
Yeah, everybody was really clear about this. NASA was very clear about this. Everybody talked about destigmatizing UAP, which is UFO, same thing, reporting. Dr. Nikki Fox even said that they...
So apparently some people that agreed to be on this panel were harassed just for agreeing to be on it.
Suffered kind of abuse and harassment online just for, as scientists, trying to look at the unexplained. So it was just amazing.
And then some of the videos that are being linked to this are like this one. So there's a lot of these videos occur in the Middle East. I don't know if that's just where we've had such a presence there for so long. That's just where we've been recording stuff and people have been looking at stuff for like intel or data or whatever. But a lot of these things are these metallic looking balls flying around over the Middle East.
You know what that thing is whizzing through the sky?
Did you see it?
Unidentified anomalous phenomena. You probably know it as UFO. I'm going to get back to this video in a second. That video was released by a NASA independent study group who met today and released some of its findings after studying these so-called UAPs for about a year. The Pentagon currently says it's investigating about 800 or so cases of these things. Now, back to the video. It was taken by an American drone pilot in the Middle East in 2022, and the scientists on the panel today said this is really typical of the UAPs they keep seeing. So they're sort of round or orb-like shaped. They're white, silver, or translucent. They travel between like 10,000 and 30,000 feet above the water or the ground in this case. They reach speeds of like Mach 2.
She's on my nerves. I don't like the way she speaks, but here's the video and the panel. What do you guys think?
Hi, and rated for parts alone or insert UAP, all sightings will be explained.
For convening today's UAP independent study public meeting and inviting me to continue to participate. I also emphasized to Congress that only a very small percentage of UAP reports display signatures that could reasonably be described as anomalous. The majority of unidentified objects reported to Aero and demonstrate mundane characteristics of readily explainable sources. While a large number of cases...
So they looked at like 800 cases, and the vast majority was just explainable. They knew what it was, blah, blah, but there was a fraction of them they couldn't explain. And they're not saying they're UFOs. They're just saying, here's a fraction of the 800 cases we looked at, all declassified. Here's a fraction of them. And that's not counting what the military still has classified, because a lot of times a video will be classified not because of, let's say, a fighter jet. Let's say a fucking F-22 took a picture of you driving down the road in your car. That picture would be classified, not because you driving down the road in your car is classified, or the fact that they took the picture is classified. The systems that the pictures are taken with and their capabilities are revealed through the pictures, the systems keep stuff classified.
And Aero's holdings remain technically unresolved. This is
Gen X bitch says, I identify as alien pussy. Okay.
Primarily due to a lack of
it's some of that strange.
Without sufficient data, we are unable to reach defendable conclusions that meet the high scientific standards we set for resolution.
And this could be the U.S., this video right here could be the U.S. fielding some type of weapon they haven't told anybody about. Some type of metallic weapon ball system that flies around. I don't know.
Meanwhile, for the few objects that do demonstrate potentially anomalous characteristics, Aero is approaching these cases with the highest level of objectivity and analytic rigor. This includes physical testing and employing modeling and simulation to validate our analyses and the underlying theories, and then peer reviewing those results before reaching any conclusions. This is an example of one that I showed at the hearing recently. This is a spherical orb, metallic, in the Middle East, 2022, by an MQ-9.
So when we see this one, it keeps going out of frame. Let me back up so you guys can see it, and I'll slow it down. So what you want to be looking at is kind of like the bottom right corner. I probably need to do this, and then I can even zoom in on it. Maybe that might be too strong. Let me back off the magnification some to about 300, maybe 200. Let's do 200. All right, I'm going to play it and show you this video.
Reaching any conclusions. This is an example of one that
look towards there it went across the screen.
This is
then they try to chase it, and it keeps showing up in the bottom corner right there, a circle.
By an MQ-9.
Right there's a circle.
Back to the sensor question.
Right there it is. See this, how it's like a ball flying through the sky, right?
Example of the thing that we see most of. We see these all over the world, and we see these in...
See what they're talking about? This is the typical example. Now, they see these all over the world. Although most of our data is like from the Middle East because that's where we're recording a lot of this stuff, I guess. But apparently, from all over the world, there's these metal flying balls that are often caught on camera and nobody knows what the fuck they are.
And making very interesting apparent maneuvers. This one in particular, however, I would point out, demonstrated no enigmatic technical capabilities and was no threat to airborne safety. While we are still looking at it, I don't have any more data other than that. This is a newly released video. You'll notice there are two dots moving back and forth.
That almost makes me think like it's on like a piece of film or something, like something clear sliding in front of it. I don't like the two dots moving together.
There is a plane
BBs
bottom that's moving across the screen.
And now there's a third one.
Moving back and forth. The moving back and forth is from the sensor and the platform that's collecting it. This is a P3 on a training mission in the western United States. They picked these up and they tried to intercept and was unable to intercept them. The reason they couldn't catch them.
This was a P3 that was in a training mission that tried to intercept these but couldn't. It says 3 UAP objects observed, apparently flying at high velocity, observing craft pursued, but was unable to intercept. Analysis of the object geospatial positioning concluded the objects were significantly further from the observer than originally estimated. Apparent morphology changes result of sensor autofocus. Analysis of air traffic control data suggests likely commercial aircraft transiting known flight paths to or from major airports in the region. Analysis being validated by AARO's scientific partners.
Is because after further analysis, it was shown that those objects were actually much farther away from the P3 than they thought. And in fact, when we went even deeper, looked at air traffic control data, we were able to match those to aircraft on a major flight corridor heading into a major airport for landing. This is the kind of thing.
Oh, thanks for catching us on Rumble, Teresa. Are you the same person that sends me emails all the time, then when I respond, you never read them?
That can spoof and or provide misperception of both very highly trained pilots as well as sensors.
Anomalous characteristics. What numbers are we talking about? How big is your data?
Snacks, Austin, snacks.
My open hearing, we were at 650 cases-ish. We are now over 800 analytics when we report out. But the numbers I would say that we see are possibly really anomalous.
Rounds, atypical orientation. They're between 1 to 4 meters in size. They're white, silver, and or translucent. They fly at anywhere from 10,000 to 30,000 feet. They can fly at any speed from stationary to Mach 2, which is twice the speed of sound. No thermal exhaust detected. So if we're looking at them through thermals, we don't see a heat trail. So they're being driven by something other than heat from a jet engine. Radar, they pick them up on intermittent, but X-band 8 to 12 gigs. Radio, 1 to 3 gigahertz, 8 to 12 gigahertz. Thermal, intermittent, shortwave infrared, medium wave infrared.
Are less than single.
These are called typically reported characteristics.
Percentages of that total database. So maybe
Here's all the altitudes. So here's all the way down to, what is that, 3K, and then all the way up to 100K, and where they're reported at?
2 to 5-ish%.
That it is really disheartening to hear of the harassment that our panelists have faced online, all because they're studying this topic. NASA stands behind our panelists, and we do not
So they put on this whole thing. This isn't like a joke or what. They put on this whole panel. NASA did.
tolerate abuse. Harassment only leads to further stigmatization of the UAP field.
And basically what they called for is there are some anomalies that nobody knows what they are. We haven't been able to identify them. Maybe they are a new weapon system. Maybe they're a foreign weapon system. Maybe they're from space. We don't know. But let's stop harassing people that claim they saw something, because all that's going to do is keep people from saying stuff.
Significantly hindering the scientific progress and discouraging others to study this important subject matter.
Pretty crazy, I think. I mean, like that one video, if I could just find that one video, silver ball UAP. I'd like to get it full screen for you, I guess. There it is from the Independent. I wonder if this is it. Full screen enough. Yeah, let me get out of the way because it's going to be traveling across the screen. All right, here it comes on the screen. Flies through the air. Now the guy's trying to chase it. He keeps catching it in this bottom corner. Bottom corner again. I got it. Tracking. Something changed. Tracking. Even gets it back to the center of the screen. I mean, like this one, like the one with the 3 moving lights, that could be anything, right? And it's weird that they all move the same. This one's kind of strange. Could it be closer than they think? Maybe, I guess. And it just be something tiny, but really close to the screen. It seems like it's on a flight path. He tries to, it seems almost like it's changing direction slightly too, because he's trying to, it should have been easy for him to catch it and keep up with it, but it wasn't. You know, instead of staying centered in the screen, it went way over here, and then it's over here, and then it's back over here. So it's changing his flight path somewhat. But it's something. I don't know what, but it's something. I don't know. I don't have an explanation. I think if the universe is infinitely big, then there have to be people that occupy, or some type of life that occupies it somewhere else. But also, I don't think we're important enough that people are coming to visit us. Like, I just don't think it's happening. There it is over some houses. And it goes down here in the corner, all the way down here in the corner. This is slowed down, obviously. Then we lose it for a second, but it comes back in. Here, back across. It seems like it's changing speed too. Slows back down. Just weird. U.S. military drone captures orb-like object. It's changing speed and changing direction is very strange. If that's right. If we're not seeing something to do with a drone changing speed or changing direction, making it look like it, if it's flying at a constant rate, and the drone just makes it look like it's changing speed or direction, cool. But if it's doing it, that's very strange, especially if it's speeding up instead of slowing down. I mean, it comes right back center screen, and obviously it's got the same shadow as everything else is. I don't think this was edited by any means. Like, the shadow's pretty good. The shadow's on the same side of it as it is on everything else. Sunlight's on the right side, and there it is. It's just a ball flying around. I can zoom in for you. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do we think, chat? Cheese balls. Cheese balls. Oh, cheese balls. It's very strange, huh? Don't forget, tomorrow's the fundraiser, by the way. NASA has always been part of debunking these crap. I don't think that's the point. Like, most of them need to be debunked. Most of them are bullshit. I've been part of debunking a bunch of them. But that I don't say that if one existed that I couldn't explain, I'm going to come on here and just debunk it because, right? Like, you could say like NASA debunked real ones, but maybe they just debunked the ones that could be explained. When there's gas clouds or weather balloons or just made up, a lot of stuff's edited. They're not stopping here. I wouldn't think that anybody's coming to visit us. We're kind of fucked up, to be honest with you. If they've got the ability to travel interplanetary or interdimensional, it seems like we wouldn't be high on their tourist list. You know what I mean? I don't know. We all need to fucking do some shrooms and go fucking meet the aliens or God or whatever it is. I'm excited. Who wants to do it? If Bullshiffer's here, he'd do it with me. So there's your aliens. Let's see. How bad do you guys think that Trump and DeSantis are going to go after each other? Oh, man. There is going to be some mud slinging, I believe. The field has opened up at least a little bit. Here we go.
Congressman Jolly, I'm going to start with you. I will take a listen. Ron DeSantis on the stump in Iowa today. We're going to discuss on the other side.
Do you think they'll destroy each other where neither one of them can get elected? Trump made basically everybody he ran against. If they would have won the bid, they would have been unelectable, I think.
Now in Florida,
Trump and Pence should be fun.
We chose facts over fear. We chose education over indoctrination. We refused.
So that set list is all the greatest hits. That's exactly what he wanted to campaign on. We thought it was going to come to.
I just wanted to see the announcement. I care less what MSNBC thinks about it, but
talk to me by better.
Trump lean, and there was the leading candidate. Trump will win.
The president does find himself indicted.
Chris Christie
in the race.
That's who Phil's thought would be. That's who Phil's thought would be president. Here we go from Politico 2 days ago. 2024 GOP field, how they win, how they lose. The race for GOP presidential nomination has a set of historic firsts: a criminally indicted former president seeking an Oval Office comeback, a vice president who refused to go along with the plot to steal the last election. I think Pence is going to call him out on saying, you wanted me to subvert our fucking election. You wanted me to try to steal the election. I think Pence is going to call him out on that. Who refused to go along with the plot to steal the last election, the most politically accomplished woman ever to run as a Republican and an already popular governor waiting in the wings. Who ultimately wins out will take on President Joe Biden and potentially secure the White House. There are also other candidates and would-be candidates, too. We put the entire field into 3 categories based roughly on their chances to capture the nod, along with the full scouting reports for everything that could go right or wrong along the road to 2024. Ron DeSantis. These are the most likely nominees, the favorites. They have established major campaign infrastructure, plenty of money, staff in key states, outside groups ready to bombard the airwaves with advertising, built broad coalitions in polling, and garnered endorsements from party leaders. Ron DeSantis. Since his election as Florida governor in 2018, DeSantis has positioned himself as a national figure by championing far-right causes and successfully turned the nation's largest swing state a distinct shade of red. DeSantis doesn't want to be the anti-Trump, but rather a more effective and less scandalous continuation of the former president's political movement. By the numbers, it could be a winning primary coalition to combine Trump fans with loyal Republicans who are skeptical about a third straight Trump nomination. But it requires DeSantis to go at Trump directly without alienating too many of his supporters and positioning himself as a more electable alternative. Here's a tightrope they got to watch. They want people to know that Trump lost last time. Trump is going to be screaming that it was cheating, they cheated him, blah, blah, blah. But nothing's changed. So if they did cheat Trump, what makes you think anybody can win? And the other candidates are going to be like, why are you going to run him against Joe Biden again? He already lost Joe Biden. Losing path. His pre-launch struggles have exposed some of his liabilities. There's the perception that he's an awkward campaigner, and his efforts to sell Trump light to voters who want the full calorie version have fizzled so far. Trump has attacked him from the left on abortion and entitlements, a strategy meant to undermine DeSantis' electability arguments. Donald Trump, the former president who refused to accept his 2020 defeat, is seeking to become the only second man in history to return to the Oval Office after his ouster. Trump remains popular among the Republican base despite numerous scandals and the January 6, 2021 riot at the Capitol that punctuated his turbulent presidency. His false claims that he was the rightful winner of the 2020 election has given his comeback bid a patina of grievance to add to his appeal to return to the policies of his administration. With only a few exceptions, Trump's likely rivals have refrained from criticizing his time in the office or behavior outside of it. The Trump fatigue. Trump has dominated American politics in both parties since he first became a candidate in 2015. Unlike his first campaign when the field was against him was split, Trump could face a single competitor who serves as a counterweight in DeSantis, and legal jeopardy on multiple fronts, including criminal charges in New York, could convince enough GOP primary voters to turn the page and look to the future, even if they like Trump and his record as president. Nikki Haley, these are the contenders. This means they're in the ballgame, but not top tier. The contenders are running credible campaigns with enough money and staff to be competitive, but haven't gained as much traction. Still, a contender has enough support in a key early state or among a segment of the GOP electorate to build upon as primaries approach, or potentially play king or queen maker down the road. So get in enough votes and then give your votes to get in enough support and then give your support to a different one. I hope so, Q idiot. Nikki Haley. Haley combines executive experience, foreign policy chops at a tie to Trump's administration, home field advantage in an early state, and a historic candidacy. As an alternative to months-long Trump-DeSantis food fight, a win in South Carolina's primary, third after Iowa and New Hampshire, would go a long way to vaulting Haley to the top tier. Already, Haley is the most politically accomplished woman as a twice-elected governor and cabinet member to enter a Republican presidential primary field. Despite the gender gap between the parties, women make up nearly half of the GOP primary electorate. Losing path. Like all candidates below the top tier, Haley risks getting drowned out in primary where Trump and DeSantis suck up most of the oxygen, and Haley's seemingly shifting views on Trump after the January 6 riot threaten her credibility in taking on her former boss. Mike Pence. Pence spurned Trump when he honored the results of the 2020 election, and the former vice president has been persona non grata with Trump since. Winning path. He probably doesn't, but if he can survive the early caucuses and primaries as a candidate of choice of the GOP small but real never Trump bloc, he could be a power broker in the heart of primary season to steer his voters towards an alternative. Again, a king or queen maker is what they usually call him. Like, I have to drop out, but I want to send all of my support to such and such. Yeah, Pence is pretty bland and plain. That's why they put him with Trump, because he was the opposite. They thought Trump would get all the crazy, yelling, screaming MAGA, and then they thought Pence would calm everybody down like all the staunch, older Republicans. Losing path. The danger for Pence is being a non-factor in the race. Other candidates will hit Trump too, though perhaps not with the solemnity of the former vice president. And those in that group, DeSantis, Haley, among others, won't have Pence's low ceiling. Ted Cruz ruled out. He is foregoing another campaign, instead choosing to seek a third term in the Senate. Ted Cruz won't be running. Ryan Brinkley. So these are the long shots. Not a factor, at least not yet. The long shots barely register in polling nationally and in the early states. There's always a possibility of catching fire, especially in one of the early states, to propel you to the next tier. But there's an even greater likelihood of early dropout. Ryan Brinkley, a Dallas area businessman and non-denominational pastor, Brinkley is concentrating his early efforts in Iowa, where he went up with TV ads in early May of 2023. Brinkley's opening and ad hit inspirational notes, promising to renew a country that is strong, unified, and reconciled to God and each other. Losing path. A first-time candidate with little national profile, Brinkley is betting big on Iowa first strategy that could easily flame out. Doug Bergman. Only 3 states have smaller population than North Dakota, which has elected Bergman, a former tech executive, to 2 terms as governor. Winning path. Bergman has a reputation as a conservative technocrat, a profile typically more sought after among governors than presidential candidates. If he can turn the focus to governing, he may get some traction in a field otherwise mostly focused on Trump. I think that's going to be it. Like the argument is going to be, we like Trump, tell us how you're like Trump, or we hate Trump, tell us how you're not Trump. One of the 2. Without any national profile, Bergman is counting on making an impression in the party's primary debates if he qualifies. While North Dakota voters enacted term limits on the ballot in 2022, a grandfather clause would still allow Bergman to seek a 3rd term in 2024 if a presidential bid doesn't work out. Chris Christie looking wider than ever. Once a Trump ally, the former New Jersey governor wants to be the field's leading and loudest critic of the former president. A successful Christie campaign probably hinges on Republican primary voters making a hard turn on the Trump era. He is clearly hoping to engineer that himself by attacking the former president directly and clearing the path for an alternative. Christie did electively end Marco Rubio's 2016 campaign on the debate stage, but Trump commands a much more loyal base. Losing path. In 2012, Christie seemed to have a real shot at the nomination during his first term as governor, but he missed his moment when he decided not to run. By the 2016 race, he was unpopular at home and never gained traction. This time, it's dubious whether GOP primary voters want to hear Christie's version of the truth telling about Trump's conduct and personality. Larry Elders. The former conservative media personality who first took the plunge when he campaigned to replace California Governor Gavin Newsom in a failed 2021 recall effort is going national. Elder worked for decades as a talk radio host, and he could be a strong communicator, including on a debate stage. Despite African Americans making up a very small slice of the Republican primary electorate, each of the past 2 contested primaries have seen black candidates surge to the top tier, Herman Cain and Ben Carson, respectively, though subsequently declined before the voting began. Losing path. A lot of ink was spilled on Elder's effort to topple Newsom midterm, but the 2021 recall failed spectacularly, 62% to 38%. Elder was also accused by his ex-fiancée of abuse during their relationship last decade. Asa Hutchinson. After a lengthy career in public office, as a U.S. attorney, congressman, and Bill Clinton impeachment manager, DEA administrator, and 2-term Arkansas governor, Hutchinson says he's mounting an underdog presidential bid. Winning path. Hutchinson has expressed misgivings about the GOP's direction in the Trump era, but selling a return to the conservatism of the 90s and 2000s an uphill climb. He says Trump should drop out of the race following his indictment in New York, far from the majority opinion in the party. Losing path. He could end up like 2 of Trump's 2016 rivals, former New York Governor George Pataki and other former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, who barely register after their political moments have already passed them by. Perry Johnson. Johnson failed to qualify for the ballot in his last campaign for Michigan governor in 2022. But the businessman and self-described quality guru has already been running cable TV ads in Iowa. Winning path. Actually getting on the ballot would be a good start. Johnson was disqualified in 2022 due to signature fraud. He blamed a vendor, rendering the more than $7 million he loaned his campaign wasted. His early stage advertising could get him on the debate stage, however, if he starts to register in polls. Losing path. Like other self-funding long shots, there's a limit to how much of their own money someone would spend if they aren't going anywhere. Vivek Ramaswamy, the investor and former pharmaceutical company CEO, has launched an outsider campaign based largely on critique of wokeness among corporations and other institutes. Winning path. If his pet issue is vaulted to the fore, especially in a primary debate where it will compete with more traditional GOP issues set of the economy, crime, foreign policy, and immigration, but he also won't be the only loud voice against wokeness. If DeSantis is in the race, he's wealthy and he can afford to jumpstart his campaign out of his own checkbook. Losing path. Self-funded candidates often tire spending millions of dollars if they aren't catching on among the electorate. Tim Scott. The South Carolina senator is a favorite of the party's donor class and hails from an early primary state. The winning path. By selling primary voters on a sunnier version of the country than Trump's retribution tour or DeSantis' war on liberalism, Scott won't have to worry about money. He's one of the Senate GOP's strongest fundraisers and has connections to well-heeled conservatives like Oracle's Larry Ellison and the Koch network. And showing strength in South Carolina could vault him into contention elsewhere. If Republican vote, the losing path, if Republican voters are more attracted to the bellicose rhetoric from the current frontrunners, and if both Scott and Haley are still on the ballots in South Carolina, it could dilute their favorite son and daughter candidacies. Mike Rogers is a maybe. Rogers gave up the gavel in the House Intelligence Committee in 2014 to become a talk radio personality. Now he says he's considering a political comeback. Greg Abbott was very unlikely. Abbott was just elected as the third term of governor and has been one of Republicans' top fundraisers anywhere in the country. Kristi Noem, unlikely. Rubio, unlikely. Since being hailed as the potential future of the GOP 8 years ago, Rubio has been eclipsed by a fellow forward in DeSantis. Glenn Youngkin, unlikely. The term-limited Virginia governor is sometimes floated as an electable conservative candidate. Tom Cotton is ruled out. The Arkansas senator said in November 2022 he wouldn't run for president. Larry Hogan ruled out. Former Maryland governor, one of Trump's top GOP critics, chose not to enter the race. Mike Pompeo ruled out after a months-long flirtation. Trump's former CIA director and Secretary of State announced in April that the time is not right for him to launch a presidential campaign in 2024. Rick Scott, after an eventful 4 years in the Senate, including a fruitless cycle as NRSC chairman and an unsuccessful effort to topple Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Scott chose a bid for second term over a presidential campaign. Chris Sununu, the popular governor of his first in the nation primary state of New Hampshire, made the rounds in the national media, dismissing Trump as the GOP's leader before announcing he wouldn't run. So there's your candidates, the unlikely ones, the likely ones, the long shots, the contenders, and the favorites. What do you think? What do you think? It's pretty fulfilled, honestly. I was waiting for that dono clip to play. It'll play in a second. I do have audio back on all that stuff, by the way. Tomorrow is the charity stream, and one of the rewards is Mariah does my makeup.
Wilbur, this is Ramesh. Vivek is a hack. He gives people with the 3 letters RAM a bad name.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Thank you very much for the dono clip.
Wilbur, this is Ramesh. Vivek is a hack. He gives people with the 3 letters RAM a bad name.
I can see that. So he's a hack. Vivek is a hack. What former pharmaceutical company did he work for? Thank you very much for the dono clip. I don't know a lot of these people down towards the bottom. Obviously, I know all the top people, but let's see where he worked at. Travis May, co-founder of Campus Venture Network, the QVT Financial, where he was a partner and co-managed firms, blah, blah, blah. Simultaneously attended Yale Law School for 2010, 2013. Served on the Ohio COVID-19 response to Roviant Sciences, pharmaceutical company Roviant Sciences, which focuses on applying technology to drug development. Roviant Social Ventures, RSV, and Strive Asset Management are the places where he's worked. 2020 was the Social Ventures, which has been described as environmental, social, and governor ESG initiative. RSV was created to generate substantial social returns and reinvest financial returns to drive long-term impact. The issue areas of interest RSV includes increased diversity, clinical trials, and diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI opportunities in the biopharmaceutical industry. RSV CEO Lindsay Adrosky has said that Ramaswamy, I think, approved of the creation of RSV. There you go. That's your guy. That's a hack, apparently, according to Remish. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of mudslinging. I think between Ron DeSantis, Trump, probably some Nikki Haley, because she was in and Pence, there's going to be a ton of mudslinging. And I'm in it for, you guys know I like drama. I like people calling each other out. I'm excited. You guys tell me what you think. I like how they all kind of wiggle when you scroll on them. It would have been cooler if when you click their picture, it scrolled down to them, but I guess not. There you go. That is the lineup so far. There's probably be some more, and there'll probably be people drop out long before we ever get to debates and shit like that. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Couldn't tell you. All right, guys. That's it. If you're a member of Patreon, I'll be back up in about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to use the restroom, fire up a Patreon video. I'm going to try to hang out with the patrons before the show tomorrow. Do not forget, tomorrow we're going to try to start at probably about 7 p.m. We got the charity stream for Hope for the Day. It's a charity for suicide prevention. We're going to be doing a charity stream. We got some stuff going on. We got some rewards. There'll be a giveaway. I already got the overlay up, so there you go. We'll check all that out. That'll be tomorrow on all platforms, but I really want you to watch on Twitch. We're going to try to raise some money. If the mods will drop Pebbles GoFundMe, I greatly appreciate that. But tonight, we're going to Patreon. All levels, patrons and Twitch subs, $2 and up. I'll be right back in about 10 minutes. Subs only. If you're on Twitch, just stay where you're at. And if you're not, then you need to be on Patreon, and that'll be a YouTube link. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Let me go use the restroom, and we'll get out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for the free show. Hope to see you over on the Patreon show. If you want to go check that out, go to patreon.com/coldbeer. Have a good night, guys.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
All right, guys. We'll see you over on Patreon, Twitch subscribers in just a second.